Here's another video on OKTV Today YouTube channel, a part 3 of all the best movies in 2024, ending scenes explained from Rebel Ridge, Take Cover, Wolf, Elevation, Ad Vitam and so much more, all coming up next on this episode.
Bob, let's go, we gotta go.
Number 12. Heart of a Hunter. The 2024 film Heart of the Hunter was directed by Mandla Dube. Connie Ferguson, Nicole Fortune, and Bonko Koza are among its talents. The movie is based on the same titled novel by Dion Meyer. In addition, Dion Meyer and Willem Grobler co-wrote the movie. Retired South African assassin Zuko Kamalo, Bonko Koza receives a call from the daughter of his longtime friend Johnny Klein, Peter Butler, who was abducted as he is investigating a perilous plot at the core of the South African government. Film reviewers overwhelmingly gave the movie bad reviews. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 67% approval rating. Fast-paced action, but an overly complicated story, is how Reinal Rajaram of Cinema Express rated it, while Laurie Meek of Ready Steady Cut gave it a 2.5 rating. Number 11. Rebel Ridge. Jeremy Saulnier wrote, produced, directed, and edited the 2024 American action thriller Rebel Ridge. Aaron Pierre plays Terry Richmond in the movie, a former Marine who has the money to secure bail for his cousin who was wrongfully taken by a corrupt police department in a small town through civil forfeiture.
Hey, put that weapon down!
It's just a leg. Just hold on.
I got it! Chief!
In the morning, Terry and Lan plan to trade, Summer for the cards. Terry uses the vehicle to break into the police station and restrain Bernier as Lan and a police detachment wait at Rebel Ridge. Sims then arrests Terry as the officers return. Summer is in danger of overdosing, Lan discloses as he crushes the cards. Bernier shoots Marston in the femoral when he complains, but Terry outguns Lan and the other cops who try to approach him. Marston leads Terry through giving Narcan in Summer and instructs him to sound a police vehicle siren, preserving the dashcam film from the past 3 minutes. Police are pursuing the three as they escape in the cruiser. Sims removes Burns' car and detains him after being told to do a pit maneuver. While escorting them to the hospital, the remaining officers announce the arrival of state police. Terry waits with the damning dashcam footage as Marston and Summer are admitted. Number 10. One More Shot. An immediate sequel to One Shot, One More Shot is a British action thriller released in 2024. When she shoots Marshall in the head, he is also apprehended and declares that he was correct to believe that Lomax had betrayed the nation. Lomax outlines her strategy: if the danger is radioactive, all DOD and NSA leaders congregate in one location, so she can access all defenses by taking their fingerprints and biometric information.
Upload to the meeting.
As a result, this was a ruse to seize control of the US strategic defense rather than a true murder. Lomax coerces Mansa into giving him the serial number of the radioactive material container. Jake eventually awakens and, posing as one of the mercenaries, murders a couple more of them. He even kidnaps Mansa's wife and presents her to Lomax. Before Mansa provides the container's number, she threatens to strike the wife. In order to exact revenge on America for its war against the Arabs, Mansa is ordered to read a speech. Mansa then dies in his wife's arms after being shot by Lomax. Jake releases the wife and disarms the mercenaries. Jake informs Mulholland about Lomax over the phone following a shooting. When soldiers show up there, they arrest Lomax. Number 9. Argyle. Matthew Vaughn is the director and producer of the espionage action comedy Argyle, released in 2024. After Aidan and Rachel reach the Arabian Peninsula and get the master key, the division traps them and sends them back to their headquarters. After Ritter discloses that Rachel was actually a double agent and one of the division's most devoted assets, she agrees to question Aidan before shooting him. She also finds Alfie for them, but she betrays the division by sending him the master key. After it is discovered that Aidan was shot in non-lethal regions, he and Rachel reconnect and battle their way out the building. Ritter stops Alfie from receiving the master key.
It's the fan.
Aren't you forgetting something?
But he is shot and killed when Rachel's cat claws out his eyes. In order to deliver the master key via the satellite link, Aidan and Rachel flee to the outside of the division facility, which turns out to be a cargo ship. Ruth used a mental trigger code to have her daughter assault Aidan until Kira, a former CIA agent, kills Ruth. These incidents, as well as Kira as a fictitious, identical version of herself, had also occurred in Ellie's novels. Kira had been Rachel and Aidan's sister in arms and had once been believed killed while on a mission with Rachel. When the master key transmission is eventually given to Alfie, Aidan blows up the division's oil tanker headquarters. Rachel returns to her role as an author and publishes her last Argyle book, in which, much to her surprise and perplexity, the actual Argyle shows up for a reading. The first novel is based on the life of a young Argyle, who turns out to be a Kingsman agent in a mid-credits sequence that takes place 20 years prior.
You had one or two for me.
Number 8. Take Cover. In 2024, Nick McKinless directed the British action movie Take Cover, which starred Alice Eve and Scott Adkins. He is knocked down along with another assassin by Sam. Ken calls Tamara on Lily's phone and requests backup. When the assassin regains consciousness, Ken flings him out of the window, but the sniper shoots him, causing him to tumble as he bleeds out. Sam discovers that Tamara is attempting to murder them because she dislikes the thought of Sam retiring and believes he would eventually turn against them. Sam messily eliminates him by killing every sniper and assassin Tamara dispatched. While Tamara keeps tormenting him till Sam understands how she was watching him, Lily is murdered in the tumultuous conflict. Sam used his gun and a number of additional strategies to keep himself and Mona alive once reinforcements arrive, even if their odds of survival are slim. Mona commits herself when Sam kills the main sniper and demands that he look after her 8-year-old daughter. When Ken realizes he is on limited time, he abruptly wakes up and makes Sam save himself. As Sam destroys a drone that Tamara dispatched, Ken uses his last strength to assist Sam before he passes out from his wound. Sam avoids the assault by using an old tactic from their history, vowing retribution on Tamara and giving gratitude to God for leaving him alive. Later, as Tamara is at the airport in anticipation of her trip to Dubai, he contacts her. Before Sam informs her of karmic vengeance, she scoffs in ignorance as the two of them start making fun of one another. Sam murders Mona in the bathroom with her daughter's assistance and then nonchalantly leaves with the youngster, thinking that his route to atonement is in capable hands. Number 7. The Order. Justin Kurzel and Zach Balin's 2024 Canadian action thriller The Order is based on Kevin Flynn and Gary Gerhardt's 1989 non-fiction book The Silent Brotherhood, the chilling inside story of America's violent, anti-government militia movement. Matthews shoots Bowen as he flees, and Yarbrough is caught. To attempt to save Bowen, Husk gives up the hunt, but he soon passes away from his wounds. In order to declare war on the federal government and carry out a significant terrorist strike, Matthews withdraws to his safe home on Whidbey Island, Washington, along with Pearson Lane. The FBI raids the residence under the leadership of Husk and Carney. While Matthews takes a stand and thwarts the FBI's attempt to attack the house, Pierce and Lane attempt to flee and are quickly captured. In an attempt to get Matthews to give up, Husk orders the home to be burnt in order to drive him out. When he doesn't come out, Husk goes in by himself. Husk is compelled to flee as the fire explodes a sizable ammo stockpile, and Matthews declines. Then Husk goes on the hunt after the raid. The footage concludes with him training his gun on the same elk from earlier. The actual Matthews died in the fire, his friends were imprisoned, and the Turner Diaries has sparked many additional acts of domestic terror, such as the Oklahoma City bombing, according to a postscript. Number 6. Wolves. John Watts is the writer and director of the 2024 American action comedy Wolves. The Albanians assault LaGrange's warehouse just after the kid arrives, and the Fixers watch.
You came here to drop off the drugs?
Pretty sure that this guy over here was...
Dimitri's bodyguards then intercept the two Fixers, but they kill their assailants and enter the building where LaGrange's men and the Albanians had already murdered one another. The Fixers plan to kill the kid to cover up their role in the disaster, but they change their minds at the last minute. The kid made it through and is now hiding inside a car trunk. They ride the train home with the child and then blackmail his father to stay quiet about the whole thing. The Fixers are having breakfast in a Brighton Beach cafe and have become close despite their inability to acknowledge it because they have a lot of unsaid things in common, such as reading glasses, terrible backs, and clothing and firearms. When Margaret's guy inquires as to how Pam persuaded the other Fixer to collaborate with him, he is informed that, you take a job, you give your word, and that word is the measure of a man. When they discover that the same individual hires them, they piece together the events of the night and come to the conclusion that their boss planned everything and that they were supposed to be fired. The Fixers agree to trade identities if they survive and begin fire as hitmen wait outside. Number 5. The Front Room. In 2024, the Eggers brothers made their feature film debut with The Front Room, a psychological horror movie based on Susan Hill's 2016 short story of the same name. Following a protracted altercation, Solange convinces Norman that Belinda shoved her, and she then throws herself into a table. While visiting to see how the family is doing, Pastor Lewis inadvertently discloses that Solange has managed to pay off the house's mortgage in full. Belinda finds herself stranded at home by herself, taking care of a regularly incontinent Solange while Laurie refuses to latch and sobs uncontrollably. She also starts experiencing more bizarre hallucinations and nightmares. In addition, Laurie develops a stronger bond with Solange than with Belinda, and Norman starts to defend Solange more. The situation erupts when Norman becomes enraged about a bite mark on Laurie's arm, but Belinda persuades him that it was Solange by pointing out the tooth mark that is missing. Solange passes the remainder of the night shrieking for her final breath until Norman eventually confronts her. When the couple discovers Solange dead in her bedroom the next morning, they cremate her right away. At last, Laurie clings to Belinda. The family moves into a new house and becomes affluent a few months later. Norman is ordered by Belinda to discard Solange's chair. Belinda, who is now expecting twins, sings Edith Piaf's Non, je ne regrette rien as she travels to a job interview. When the dean asks her how she handled her prior circumstances during her job interview, a flashback shows Belinda killing Solange by suffocating her. Number 4. Elevation. George Nolfi is the director of Elevation, a post-apocalyptic action thriller from 2024 that was written by Kenny Ryan and Jacob Roman. Will shoots at gas canisters to halt a Reaper onslaught, allowing them to flee in time. Will wishes to return to his kid, but Nina persuades him to assist her in going back to her old US Department of Energy facility. Will finds out that Nina's family was killed in a Reaper strike. While Nina investigates ways to eliminate the monsters, she permits Will to return to his son. Nina uses a bullet loaded with a magnesium-cobalt combination to kill a Reaper who breaks inside the lab after many attempts. Will drives out in a pickup truck, but when Reapers follow, his tires burst, forcing him to flee to the safety line. He is cornered by the Reapers, but Nina gets there in time to kill them with her bullets loaded with co per megagram, which explode upon impact due to internal combustion. They discover that the Reapers are robots created with sophisticated extraterrestrial technology rather than being organic, confirming Nina's claim. Will meets up with Hunter once they get back to Lost Gulch. Nina signals the death of a Reaper by raising a pirate flag for other surrounding Rocky Mountain towns. To retaliate against the Reapers, the villagers re-establish radio communication and begin preparing with co per megagram coated bullets. Elsewhere, 3 greenish meteorites reach orbit as Nina and will watch through a telescope. Number 3. Dark Game. Ed Westick plays the lead in Howard J. Ford's 2024 British criminal thriller Dark Game. A murderer uses a strange game show format to live stream his killings on the dark web. Howard J. Ford is the director, while Gary Grant and Niall Johnson wrote the screenplay. Happy Hour Productions' producer is Tom George. The film was described as a cool thriller with a character that has the potential to give it a bit of heart, and it was also kind of no Irish, by Ford, who decided to direct it when George showed him the script. I believed I could create a completely unique film in contrast to my previous works. Ed Westick co-stars with Joe Urquhart, Anthony Afoegbu, Mark Danbury, Rose Reynolds, Andrew P. Stephen, Natalia Svetkova, Lola Wayne, and Rory Alexander.
A detective, a real victory. Demons. You chose, and worse, you have. But I think that's the game to be.
I've made
The majority of the principal photography was done in Bristol, England, even though the story is set in Portland, Oregon. In 2022, the movie went into post-production. Number 2. Love Lies Bleeding. Rose Glass is the director of the romantic thriller Love Lies Bleeding, which was released in 2024. In the meantime, Daisy blackmails Lou into a relationship after observing Lou and Jackie driving to the ravine the night before and learning of their role in JJ's death. Jackie calls Lou Sr. to get her out of jail when Daisy cuts off her phone conversation to Lou. Lou Sr. then forces Jackie to murder Daisy, the only person who saw the crime. Jackie returns to Lou Sr. after shooting Daisy in Lou's apartment, only to be rendered comatose. When Lou Sr. phones Lou and informs her that he has put Jackie up to take the blame for JJ and Daisy's killings, Lou, who has previously assisted her father in killing, declares that she would assist the FBI in its inquiries if he sets Jackie up. She overcomes the policeman sent by Lou Sr. to assassinate Lou before she drives to her father's house to save Jackie. After learning of Lou's role in JJ's death, Beth confronts Lou in person at Lou Sr.'s home. Lou Sr. shoots Lou in the leg as they attempt to flee after Lou locates and releases Jackie. Lou Sr. is pinned down by Jackie, who has become enormous from using steroids, and Lou contemplates murdering him before leaving him for the cops. Lou and Jackie leave in their car. Despite Daisy's almost fatal wound, Lou discovers the next morning that she is still alive in the truck bed. While Jackie sleeps, she strangles Daisy and disposes of her body in a nearby field. Number 1. Ad vitam. Rodolphe Lauger is the director of the 2025 French-language action movie Ad vitam. When his pregnant wife is abducted, a former gendarme who was fired due to a sad event becomes entangled in a risky scheme. Leo Frank is faced by his history and drawn into a governmental plot that turns out to be more than he anticipated as he explores a world of mystery. Although the premise suggests a compelling and poignant narrative, the movie falls short of transcending the genre's cliches. There is a pursuit with parachutes and helicopters, and a pregnant lady who has been fatally injured shows up at the hospital at the 11th hour. Rodolphe Lauger, who co-wrote the picture alongside Guillaume Canet and David Corona, is also its director. Canet and Jean Cotton co-produce for Caban's Productions. Canet plays a key part as well. Accompanying him in the cast are Alexis Menenti, Zita Hanrot, Nassim Lies, and Stéphane Caillard. A lengthy flashback scene that may have been intended to give the movie emotional weight, but it only creates belly fat, was included in Elizabeth Vincentelli's critique of the film's pace in the New York Times. Variety's Dennis Harvey described it as entertaining, and certainly not dull, but it becomes harder to take seriously as the plot shifted from realistic thriller territory to extravagant set pieces more appropriate for James Bond. An awkward story structure whose midsection is a long, two-part flashback, is what Harvey found to be the failure to gel of the various portions. To sum it up, Ad vitam is a captivating French police action movie. Although my knowledge of French action films is limited, this is good by any action drama standards. If you like this video, make sure you check out OKTV Today's YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos like this. Make sure you subscribe and click on that bell so you'll get notification.